Woo!
Yeah.
Dragons, at least, in the dungeon. All names are the same. Good evening.
Hello, friends.
Hello from the darkness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not on the turn tracker that I see. Not yet.
Don't forget to click on your dude.
I did.
There you are. There you are.
Okay. That's cool.
I thought you said that by the time we got to the bottom that mine would have dissipated. Yeah.
No, no, I don't.
Uh,
Oh, freedom of movement. That's what it was.
Um, also, how many hours has it been since the fight on the stairs? Okay, so the aid spell that I did and the one that Jenny did are still active. No.
Yeah,
I was where I'm
I
at.
had stayed back there. Oh, well, I mean, glowing green stuff up there. I didn't go. Well, hold on. Like it looked like it was like the map looks like it's like curved, so but yeah, well, I'm not trying to. I was trying to put myself like on the edge of the wall, but
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good.
no, that's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Dirty 20.
Just a 10.
gonna go out on a limb and say a 2 probably doesn't make it.
So we're gonna all lose
10 spell
what?
slots or
10
be
spell
exhausted.
slots?
Or exhaustion. Yeah, that'll be happening soon.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be exhausted, so that'll be everything at disadvantage. Hmm,
Um,
I can't even find exhaustion on here.
it's
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing it.
so all the effects I think
Oh
are
wait,
there.
there it
So
is.
you are
There.
-2 times your exhaustion level, speed reduced by number of feet equal to 5 times your exhaustion level. Yeah, both of those. None of that were true. All right. Oh dear. Okay. I don't. Oh, I gotta do some measurement here. How far the hell are we from everything? Okay, that's not good. I think. Hmm, I think it's going to be. Oh, it's a dragon. Okay. Um, I guess I'm gonna try a frostbite. I don't think it's going to work, but it's a Constitution 17 save.
Christiana, did you see that message? They can't hear your mic on the stream. I checked on Twitch too, and it's picking up marks, but I couldn't hear you at all.
So for those of you who haven't heard following along at home, the big bad dragon just breathed in all of our spell levels. Well, 10 of them anyway. Nothing else of substance has happened yet because we're all terrified. Well, let's just interview the characters in the meantime. Lynn, what's going through your head right now? Besides magic. Food apparently is going through Lynn's head right now. All right, we'll go to Zinhorn. Zinhorn, since traveling on this journey, have you ever considered the idea that you might die from a giant sucking dragon? A magic sucking dragon?
Honestly, every
Okay,
dragon I
should be
think we've
working
met
now.
has been corrupted in some way, and we've pretty
Um,
much had to.
so
Oh,
um just also for just my own curiosity, did someone say that in the Twitch? Oh, okay, for some reason it wasn't.
I
Like-
didn't see it in the Twitch myself.
Yeah, I didn't
No,
either.
it's not. A friend
Okay.
of mine was watching, and
Okay. All right. So apologies everyone who was perceiving the stream so far. The technical difficulty that seems to happen from time to time whenever Windows does an update or OBS or something, it just decides to forget which audio source I want to use. So
There was a full
apologies.
moon last night, so it's understandable.
It's not. Let me be mad. Thanks. So with the pocket protectors having made their way to a dragon they hoped would help them, it turns out he's corrupted by siphoner magic instead. He just inhaled instead of breathing out with his breath weapon, sucked a bunch of magic out of them. The fight is ongoing. Nedry was going to cast Frostbite, and that was going to make the dragon need to make a Constitution save, which I am doing now.
That's correct. 17.
I got a 17 exactly.
And I think failed save. I think it does nothing on a successful save. So, and that means he will then move the hell away. So, that seems about right. That's it.
Okay. Lynn.
let's see. So, this is hard.
I know. I was just going to say, I am apologizing for being fussy about your positioning because I was trying to make sure you're going to be in the range of the breath weapon.
How?
Mm.
I'm wondering. Hold on a second. I want to look at something really fast. I just had an idea that we'll see.
Sure.
Okay, and I need to measure something really fast. Excellent. Okay, so I would like. I know this is like the spell you absolutely love the most of anything in the world. I'm going to cast Prismatic Wall,
Okay.
but in a sphere over the dragon.
All right.
Because I can
all
do
right.
that. It's got a 30-foot radius.
Okay. Right. Hang on, let me look it up. Because this is it is a complicated spell. Okay.
Sorry about that in advance, but
No, you know what?
he's scary.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think that let's see. Into a globe up to 30 feet in diameter. So let's draw what that looks like. Trying to draw a circle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think 30 feet in diameter is like this. So it's not going to go completely over the whole well, but it is big enough. Let's see.
It's centered around the dragon. So yeah, that looks
Yeah.
like that's 25 feet that you've got there. But yeah.
Well, it's 6 squares by 6, 6 squares across, right?
Oh, weird. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Each square is,
Yeah.
well,
Okay,
depending on whether your
Fine.
little ruler is measuring from the edge or from the center of the square can complicate it too. But in any case, yes, the circle here Uh, it doesn't give. Let's see. If you position the wall in a space occupied by a creature, the spell ends instantly without effect.
Wait. Hmm.
Um, I think that we could potentially. So, I'm not necessarily saying that that happens here. I'm saying we need to figure out how to resolve that.
Mhm.
I think often spells of this type, especially if you've got a creature that is basically about the same size, it sometimes gives them a save to try to avoid it. But I think in this case, he doesn't seem like he's moving very quickly. I'm just going to go ahead and allow that you create this globe here. Um, uh, I think, yeah. Well, the it's an interesting question because which side is he on, right? Um, it's so the different layers would be happening in a certain order depending on which side he's on, right? So is he on
Right.
the red side or is he on the violet side?
I mean, that feels like the logical place to start. Mm, I'm trying to picture this as a sphere, but yeah, you're right, layers.
Mm-hmm.
No, because a rainbow would be red on the outside, moving towards violet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I
then
mean, I
I
think you
guess
can.
violet on the inside.
All right. So in any case, I think you cast this spell and it works. You have you have cast this in this powerful ninth level spell, and this was a surprise to the dragon. You have encompassed him for the moment. This glowing prismatic sphere hovers with, or it's not hovering, rather, it's sort of like half submerged within this strange well, and at least for the moment, it would appear that the dragon is trapped inside. So, anything else for your turn?
No, I think I've done enough.
Can we shoot into it? Magic
Uh,
No,
into it, or
with like arrows and stuff, you could,
you
couldn't
can't
you?
even see through it.
oh,
Oh,
You can choose people who can move through it, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. And definitely, you can
And you can specify
um,
people who can move through it or aren't affected by it, which presumably would be us.
yeah. You and creatures
yeah.
you designate at the time you cast the spell can pass through and remain near without harm.
Pass through and remain near is not the same thing as being able to shoot things through it.
Right.
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 Yeah. And
I'm
it is
continuing to
opaque.
read.
It isn't. You cannot see through it.
Yeah. The red layer on the inside blocks non-magical ranged attacks.
Mhm.
Magical range attacks are blocked by the orange layer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
So
not really getting through.
so if nothing else on your turn, Lynn.
No, nothing
Okay.
else.
So Zinhorn, it is your turn. At least at the moment, this spell that you have seen Lynn cast before seems to have trapped the dragon within this sphere. What would you like to do?
I would like to back up. Um,
Okay.
and say, how long can you hold it, Lynn?
$10 minutes. So
So
or until unless he
not a long rest, huh?
yeah, no, and if he manages to somehow get out of that, then like it's possible, Just
All right.
buying us a little time here.
Okay.
Maybe a little damage.
Well, we can't damage him while he's in there. We could get
Well, I mean, you can go through.
and melee a dragon. Yeah. I mean, I suppose. In a puddle of green muck and slime. Um,
So there are still things that are going to happen. You don't have just like right now we're still in initiative. So
Right.
we can't just have a totally free conversation right now.
okay, so that's probably me. I'm not even going to hold an action because I don't know what's going on. I mean,
Okay.
like, I don't know how long it's going to take him to
Sure.
get out of that.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just like there's still potential things that could happen in sequence, so I don't want to just give you freedom yet.
Right.
Okay, so you're basically gonna just not you took your turn with talking.
Yes, I
Okay.
took my turn moving and talking.
Great, Zaleen.
I reach up and I hold my talisman key and I ask for divine intervention.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna roll my
Percentile dice because you're
D1
still
million.
using the 2014 version.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
37.
Oh well.
That was my turn.
Okay. So it is the dragon's turn. Couple of things are going to happen. One is because he is certainly within range of the wall, and he's on the violet side. He has to make a dexterity saving throw against the violet layer's condition. He fails.
Well, Constitution saving throw first or be blinded for a minute because he
Okay,
started
well,
his turn there.
okay, except that that's also what happens. I'm doing things in order, okay? Because the violet layer is also for a blinded condition.
Mhm.
So I'm doing things in order. The so if because he's so there's that also. He even if he had passed the dexterity one, he could have failed the constitution one, but he failed the dexterity one, and the result of that is that the target has the blinded condition. And at the start of your next turn, Lynn, he will make a wisdom saving throw. And I think you realize perhaps so that's going to happen on your turn, but he is blinded. He is going to see if he gets his breath weapon back, which he does. And he is actually going to attempt to use his breath again inside there. And although this is obviously interpreted a little bit, the violet layer is destroyed by dispel magic. And given that his breath weapon is essentially consuming magical energy, I'm going to rule that by using his breath weapon, he does destroy the violet layer.
Totally fair.
Which is just as well, because if he failed this wisdom save, then he would... you know what? I'm actually going to rule that he could have used a legendary resistance to not be blinded. So I think he will then also make the Constitution one. He doesn't want to be blinded. He's going to, so he's just used 2 legendary resistances in order to not be blinded. And then he uses his breath weapon to destroy the violet layer, which doesn't necessarily, get him all the way there. There's 7 layers of this thing. But you, I think, perceive that inside this thing, he's still trying to do stuff. But looks like the next layer is going to maybe be harder, though, for him to do anything about. Melody, I think, is just sort of like sitting, like, since it seems like there's like at least it's safe for the moment. She's just sitting down and she's basically seems like she's having a panic attack. Um, but she's kind of like clutching a little talisman that she's wearing and sort of trying to like calm herself by holding it and whispering something to herself in Druidic. Nedry.
Whoa, really? Oh.
Yeah.
He'll peer around the corner, see what's happened, and scratch his head. That's really effective. I don't think there's much we can really do for it. I might suggest we have to move on. Can we see an exit here? I don't really know what I'm looking at, so.
Melody had said that the slime wasn't there before, and that's the way she was expecting you were all going to go, was down in that well.
Okay, that's not good. Can Nedry, without getting any closer, probably not, but can he kind of determine the nature of the slime, or is he going to move closer?
Yeah, you would definitely need to move closer.
I just want to see how far. Whoops.
Mhm.
One. I just want to see how far I was. So I was like 15. Sure. Let's see. That's 10, so 25, and then another 25 makes it 50. So I think he will dash up there to try to take a closer look at the slime.
Okay.
But that was his action. The
Go
dash.
ahead and make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Wow.
29.
29. Okay, is that all? Your assessment here is that the dragon, like, there's still some mysteries about exactly how the process of becoming a siphoner works, and it seems like there are some arcane mysteries as a result from that, and not to mention the idea that could be different when it happens to a dragon as opposed to when it happens to a humanoid. This dragon made its lair here, and it had a lot of control over its domain as a result. And you saw already that its body was sort of transforming and in some ways decaying pretty substantially. And now you knew that, like, when humanoids got turned to siphoners, especially when they were starving, they became more like wraith-like. And you think that the dragon is actually becoming sort of like more sort of primordial or elemental like, but it's reverting in sort of in the same way that when you take blackish, greenish, flaky copper ore and refine it, it becomes the shiny metal that you're familiar with. You suspect that the dragon's physical form, as well as its magical control over its domain, is sort of degenerating. And this sludge is kind of basically the form that the degenerated, its wellspring of magic from this place. It's essentially sort of like, I've been trying to just not say pus, but it's basically, it's like, it's sort of, it's the sap that is emerging from this poisoned part of the tree, which is the sort of new form of what had once been its ability to tap into the magics of Emerald Arboris. And so it's kind of a poisoned version of this magical wellspring. That's kind of what it is and why it's there. As far as the properties of it itself, you suspect that it doesn't look like it's especially harsh. Like it's not just like molecular acid that's going to burn you up if you touch it. Um, it doesn't seem like it would be nice. It would be hard to see through. You wouldn't want to try to breathe it or drink it. But it's not like it's not acid. And it is sort of just like corrupted magical sludge, which might have some unpredictable effects if you were to like submerge yourself in it for too much. But you also suspect that basically it's here because it's part of the dragon's power in a degenerated form. And so you do suspect that it would go away were the dragon to be killed. But it doesn't also mean that you couldn't theoretically go through it otherwise. It's just, you'd have to figure out how you want to do that.
Okay. In his own way, he'll share that probably with 1,000 more speculations along the side. So, I think, unfortunately, while the dragon remains, this place will continue to be corrupted. I don't know how we might rescue them. And I'm not sure that the intended destination would be exactly where we wanted either. The only other thing I can think is that perhaps it's partially corrupted from the other side, which might be more amenable to change. Or just as bad. For the moment, it's contained.
So that first layer, the violet layer, was the one that had something that might happen right away, which could completely change the encounter. That is part of why I was trying to not have us be quite out of initiative yet. But I think right now it's basically there's not really anything it can do about the indigo layer, which is destroyed by bright light shed by the daylight spell, and it just doesn't have that spell. So right now, it would seem that it is stuck in there, and so at least for, with the caveat that this is a situation of 10 minutes, not forever. But you have basically the ability to do what you like at the moment, and we'll resume initiative if and when that situation changes.
Well, there's two effects that happen, right? Because it's proximity, it might be blind.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's in the indigo, it might go to stone. Or it might end the indigo ring, right? It's 3 successes before 3 failures. You
Yeah,
get
you're
drops
right.
or-
Okay, so
yeah. So it has a chance to get through still.
okay, well, so I'll well, but it can't even if it manages to avoid being petrified, it doesn't get through that layer.
Well, if it successfully saves 3 times, the spell ends.
No, the condition ends. The restrained condition.
Oh, okay. You might be looking at the newer version then, because the older version just says the spell ends.
I am looking at the newer version. Why would I
okay.
not look at the?
I didn't know which one we were using. I didn't know
Okay.
what differences were. Okay, so the restrained one.
All right. So look.
All right. Sorry.
I'm going to give all of you the option. Do we really, really want to nail into the nitty gritty of exactly what this spell does, or did we want to use it as like kind of the narrative device that because we can do it either way. I was assuming we're kind of doing
Narrative.
Yeah.
Because
So
I love y'all,
if
but this
you
is
want-
getting way too into the weeds.
There is a chance if we do it like that, then there is a chance that it could end up petrified.
All right. It was a great party, or we are a great party, and the dragon got stoned.
So let's do it. So, but my only frustration is that means a whole nother 3 rounds where we're still having to go through initiative instead of just having the conversation, and that's why I was gonna. I
Okay.
will roll. How about this? I will roll those rolls in secret, and you don't know what's happening inside there.
All right. What's Cadence's granddaughter's name?
Melody.
Melody. You need to move behind the wall and stay out of direct line of sight.
Okay. I mean, yeah, she
Yeah.
just feels like this seems like it doesn't solve the problem.
Well, no, it doesn't solve the problem, but if we're gonna wind up fighting this guy, we shouldn't all be huddled together in a line. I don't where it can get us all with one breath weapon, in case it changes to a different breath weapon. But um, anyone got any idea about what kind of damage to use?
A lot.
Thank you. I was hoping someone would say radiant is good because I got a thing with radiant that I was going to try as soon as I saw that radiant damage worked. Never fought a green slime dragon before.
Nope.
It used to be a copper dragon.
Can I assess Melody's kind of state of mind? Like, she seems like she's not doing okay.
So you can make an insight check if you want. I think certainly even without a check, she's clearly very upset.
Okay, so we're going to try to redirect her, like, get her brain engaged elsewhere. So I know this is the way that we intended to go, and we were going to do what we could, but this isn't looking great. If things start going bad, do you have a secondary route we could take?
I mean, there's certainly a longer path. We could get there, but this was the way that led to. I mean, this was the most direct path, and it was to speak with him because he's so important and involved. And if we go another way, I mean, I don't know that he wouldn't just follow us, or I mean, we're just going to leave him like that?
I don't think that's the plan. But we don't really know how to reverse this. If there was anything at all that we could do, and Nedry, do you think there's anything that we can do here? I'm gonna
I've
holler up
been
at
trying
him.
to rack my brain about whether we could purify some of this so we could pass without danger, or whether we'd just come back because the overall effect is still consistent. One option might be to try to banish it from this place, so at least this place might recover. But I don't know where it would go, and whether it would be a
And it would
problem.
come right back here because isn't this its home?
It might not be its native plane, even if it is its home. It's a chosen home, not an inherent space.
Isn't this kind of like between? Are we still considered on the material plane, or kind of in between, right?
More or less. You're within the tree.
So
But it would be gone for that in that time, and maybe the pool would be less dangerous to travel through.
for a minute,
Yeah, not long.
that's
but
all. That's as long as it lasts.
It doesn't take more than that to travel through, I hope. But I don't have a lot of other options. It took away most of my spells, and I didn't have
Is
anything
there
to
a
do with this
way
anyway.
to undo this thing that's happened to him? I
Yeah, I've not
mean,
had a lot of experience with siphoners, unfortunately. So
it seems like those other ones that we fought, it was just like they'd just become monsters. They were mindless. But I mean,
No,
he tries to. He was saying that he was trying to hurt us, but he, like, in his mind it was so that he could be strong enough still to protect Emerald Arboris. Maybe there's something still in there that we could help him.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think
we've
we
dealt with
need.
other forms of corruption that might be retrievable, but I don't know if this works the same. We haven't had a chance to try.
Yeah.
We
And
could.
I
some
have
of
a question before we continue talking. I've been trying to ask for like a minute now.
Sure.
When we got blasted with the breath weapon,
Mhm.
was it the same type of magic from the siphoners? Like exactly like the same type of
I
magic.
mean, yeah, it's sort of dragon
Okay.
flavored, but yes, it was clearly yes. So it has become a siphoner dragon, if that was the question.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Did
think
I can't remember, did I share what I learned from the Siphoners of I've been keeping that to myself, haven't
Mm.
I? I thought so. Okay. All right, now you can go, Paul. Thank you.
I think we either have to kill it and hope that it reverts to itself and then try and resurrect it, um, or just leave it this way and like dive into the green muck. Um, but I don't think we want to leave Emerald Arboris this way,
Yeah,
especially
that's the
not with
thing. They
the
seem to
other.
be linked, and we don't want to like leave this festering wound here.
No, I
I
don't think so. I think we have to kill it.
my only thought was to try to use the pipe, but I'm not sure if it would extract the same sort of thing from these forms. They're so transformed.
I thought the same thing, but the pipe works on nightmare energy.
It should be the same source, just corrupted in a different way, I think. Actually, I can cast. Well, Jesus, so I even have the spell energy. Uh, you know what? I don't even have detect nightmare equipped because it's all just
I
nightmares
think
anyway.
so. I think with your 29 and just the other things that you've known already, you know that although there is kind of base level connection, that the siphoners are different than those who are infected by nightmares. It is a different phenomena, and so the pipe is for one, and this is something else. You don't think that the pipe would solve it.
For the siphoners that we killed before, that we destroyed, what happened to their bodies when they were destroyed?
They basically just disintegrated.
Right. So, a new phenomenon, which is exactly what we're here to study. Maybe the next few minutes will give us a bit more insight, but
The other thing that you don't know really is that you've had sort of only rumors to the effect that the siphoners may have had, like, the ones that you have encountered have all been just sort of like almost mindless with their desperation to just feed. And then some are slightly more tactical, but otherwise, like, the fact that one of them ran away when it was the only one left is like as much self you've seen presented in them until the dragon here, right? But the rumors that you heard about them from like the rebels way back when is that even though individuals of them seem almost mindless, there's got to be something that's like controlling them or guiding them or seeing through them or something. There's got to be some kind of a central thing that is guiding the movement of them. All, you know, is it like a hive mind? Hard to say. Is it more like there's just one that's got all the others in its thrall? Who's to say? You don't know that, but there has been evidence that there is something that is sort of giving them a central organization as opposed to just all of them being equally mindless.
So maybe the dragon can give us a hint as to who's in charge of the siphoners, and maybe if we cut the head off, the rest of them crumble.
You've been hearing like roars of anger from inside the sphere.
I was just gonna ask if we've heard him saying or doing anything in there.
Nothing that's been, coherent to you.
Um, so Nedry, do we think the pipe might work? I mean, I'm willing to give it a try.
I don't have any indication that it will. Although the same source, this corruption is so vastly different. in the way it's presented itself. I'm not convinced. Let's put it this way: even if we were to draw out the energy, I'd be concerned that whatever's left over is too manipulated to really survive anyway.
Lynn,
And the corruption just end up on us potentially.
if I go inside the rainbow bubble, will I be able to do magic? Like, can I cast in there?
I think so.
Okay.
You'll be up real close.
I may not have a choice.
Also, I would like to remind folks that Buster is still put away.
I am going to start walking towards the bubble
Okay.
and prepping myself as I go
All right.
to cast. Once I get inside, I'm going to cast Vampiric Touch
Okay.
at level 7.
All right.
Yeah, so that's a thing that's going to happen.
Okay. So.
And I'm going to channel what I learned.
All right.
That if it strikes, I want to try to draw out what's in it.
So, I definitely am intrigued by this whole plan, but I think it's also true that part of what has happened here is not that there's necessarily something in it that could come out, as much as it has been transformed in such a way as to be sort of empty and in need of filling. You know what I mean?
My thinking is like it obviously like it already fed on
Mhm.
magical energy. So my thought is that if I can draw that out, that it will be like weakened.
Okay, so I see. So in effect, you're sort of feeling like maybe you could sort of take back the magical energy that it took.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that you're going to be able to, as you enter this, you're going to essentially be right up on it. So I'm not going to make you like roll to hit or anything. You've got this readied, and so it can basically happen as soon as you get in there. But then, of course, you're going to be in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in order to have the spell do what you're looking for instead of the normal version of it, I think I would be looking for an. I mean, you could maybe try to sell me on religion here, but I think Arcana would be more straightforward.
Either one works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, either one.
So let's see an Arcana check as Zaleen steps into the bubble. Are you kind of just leaping in to get over the little bit of the?
Yeah, it's only a 16.
Okay. Go ahead. So roll what the like the damage would be for a normal attack. You know, obviously, given that you're
22.
it's a high level there. I think that you're going to get. I think that you are going to get 2 spell slots 2 levels worth of spell slots.
Okay.
But I think that as that happens, you kind of metaphorically feel yourself taking a step closer to that ledge. That, you know, like this is, you know, you are standing with your toes over the edge of a chasm here. So you have recovered those 2 levels of spell slot. But, you know, I think you are sensing here that you are very close to the sort of transformation that these siphoners undergo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the dragon is like enraged and alarmed for you to like, because you're in there now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is like thrashing around. I think it's going to get its full round of attacks on you. I'm going to make those rolls at disadvantage because you're kind of like in its space, and
Okay.
it's complicated. But it's pretty good anyway at these. So wow, that first roll would have been a crit. Still a 25.
Oh yeah.
So 16 slashing damage and 11 acid damage.
27.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another 29 to hit for 15 slashing damage and 7 acid damage. So another 22. And then, let's see. And then it's going to cast Mind Spike on you, and you need to make a Wisdom save. I think you're pretty good at those.
I'm supposed to be, but I rolled a 2, so it's
Oh boy,
13.
yeah. So that's gonna fail. So you're going to let's see. So let's see. Eight. So that last one, you're going to take 15 psychic damage, but you also feel as though its mind has sort of penetrated your mind in such a way that it will know where you are at all times.
Okay.
And it could follow you. And then I think as this psychic, penetration is in your mind, you for a moment feel what it's feeling, which is this rage and shame and humiliation at having been brought to this state. It is desperate that it not be a complete failure of its mission, but it doesn't know what else it can do in order to do this, because from its perception, if it was only able to get strong enough again, it's still the best chance to defeat the queen. But it doesn't think that if it were to allow you all to defeat it, then you would then just be yourselves defeated or corrupted by the queen, and all is lost. And that is why it was trying to take its strength from you instead of just cooperating. So its fear is that if it fails to stop you and it fails to gain the strength it needs, then the queen will completely corrupt Emirate Arboris. And you have this sense of there is an entity that it just thinks of as the queen. And all of this is not like verbal. You're not having a conversation, but in this moment of psychic connection, you just have all of this emotion in a flash.
Do I say it was like a sort of like a visual transference of mental energy? Would I see in my mind what the queen looks like?
Make another Arcana check.
Oh, come on. 12.
I think it is such a shock that you don't think you can get a coherent sort of mental picture. But
Okay.
you other than you know that the dragon encountered the queen and was brought to this state by them.
Okay. All right. That's my turn.
Okay,
Bye
yeah, and
bye.
so all of the rest of you are hearing. You hear Zaleen jump into the sphere, and then some basically roaring and thrashing around. And now what? I think we would say like Melody is following instructions, but she's still just kind of like, I mean, what are we gonna do? Nedry?
Don't know. Zaline is strong and strong-willed, so there was no talking her out of that anyway. We'll know in a moment if she's coming back out, but honestly, I don't know. I think we may have to travel through this portal. We may have to risk it.
All right. Lynn, do you have anything, or Zinhorn, that you want to do before you just wait to see if Zaleen comes back out?
Um, yeah,
I mean,
nothing's.
I think we need to kill it. Are we agreed?
Not sure we can.
Well, then it's retreat or go through the muck. Your vote is to go through the muck.
I don't think we can't just leave it here. So, I mean, our options are to retreat or go through it.
Then we fight. That's probably going to be our 6 seconds.
Mm.
We've got 10 minutes to burn through, so lots of
Yeah. Zaleen, are you, what's the plan here?
Oh, I'm trying to decide if I could get out of here now that I'm in here, so I can relay the information that I learned.
I mean, honestly, because you are able to pass through this wall, if you basically just kind of like let go of it, you would sort of fall into the sledge, but you wouldn't be in the sphere anymore.
But would it get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah.
Not if you're on the other side of the wall,
Well, it gets it as you would be moving out away.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Why don't I have
Disengage.
Misty Step? Damn it!
Just-
Can I
just-
disengage?
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
option.
Yeah. You
Oh,
can
okay.
disengage, yeah.
So I'm gonna use my action to disengage, and I'm
Okay.
gonna back out of that.
Okay. I think you
back
do fall into the sludge. I'm
Oh.
going to ask you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
See, she's fine. She's
Yeah, that's gonna be a natural 1.
Oh boy. Okay. I think that right now you find yourself just sort of like covered in it, and for the moment you actually feel like you took the level of exhaustion before?
Yeah.
Right now you it feels like you don't have that level of exhaustion. In fact, if anything, you feel almost like you have more energy, but in a way that I'm going to suggest is a bit akin to having just taken some cocaine or something. Like,
Okay.
you're feeling sort of like juiced up and energized, but I think even you would recognize that this is it's not your energy. It is, and it might have its own result when it wears off.
This is great.
Okay, yeah. So
somebody should get her out of there.
I think you could easily kind of swim to the side and climb out if that's what you want.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay.
I will do that and climb out. But I'm also going to insist everybody else go in there because it's freaking great. Like, it
Wait,
feels
how?
so good. So anyway, there's a queen. Anyway, who's next?
Wait, a queen? What?
Yeah.
What happened in there? I mean, like, you look hurt.
Oh yeah, I'm dead. I'm like on death's door. But I learned things and I got some of my magic back, and yeah, there's a queen.
But you didn't fall through.
No,
So jumping through to the portal may not be an option.
I mean, Melodies is it's not a portal. It's just like literally there are stairs that it's just flooded right now.
Oh. Good to know.
I mean, it's like that other trunk, the hollow trunk that we came down through. There's stairs. It descends like maybe 100 feet or so.
I wouldn't suggest trying to breathe that stuff. Or really get it on you.
You
It
say as
feels
Zaleen is
good.
standing there, like just totally,
I'm like-
slide.
dancing. I feel good.
Hmm. You look horrible.
Seriously, like
Go.
if you're tired, jump in there.
I'll invite you also to recognize we're no longer in initiative because like there's no like immediate sense of danger now that she's out of the sphere again. But I'd say like a couple of minutes have gone by.
Okay.
Yeah, so Queen, I don't know. I tried to find out who the Queen was, but I can't. It's hard to think. I'm like, I'm gonna burn a level 6 spell slot and heal myself 80 points.
Okay.
So it knows more? The dragon?
Yeah, the dragon, like um it doesn't think that it can do this. Unless it has more power. It needs more power. And that's why it's doing this, but it's not in its right mind. Um, it feels like scared and ashamed but also like really overwhelmed, like it's gonna fail. So it wants to take our power instead of asking us for help. I think. Yeah, that.
Melody, I think, is just crying. Is like, there's nothing we can do to help? What if there's a queen? Could we kill the queen? Would that fix her? Would that
don't
fix
know.
it?
I don't know who the queen is.
Certainly wouldn't be a bad option. Sounds as though
I
they're
think the queen's
influential
got to
anyway.
die anyway. I mean, just,
Getting
For
to them
reasons.
might be difficult.
yeah, well, what isn't?
Do you think it could be Solomon?
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Okay. I'm just asking because.
Well, I think if that were the case, if she were, you know,
Corrupted.
a siphoner, I think the things that she has given us would probably be affected as well.
Yeah, not to mention all of the clerics and paladins she created in Pashan.
So, I mean, we don't really know that much about that, but I don't know. I listened to Lynn's stories, and I've heard a lot about this crazy Fae Queen and God now. I wouldn't put it past her to have some bizarre way that she is controlling this for her own gain.
I mean,
But that could just be the cocaine. I don't know.
isn't your god also called the queen, though?
Mistress
Mistress.
of the dark.
No, she's the mistress. The mistress.
Others are called queens. It's not really conclusive.
So are female cats who give birth.
We'll put
This
that on the
is
table,
not
but
about the tabaxi.
Isn't talking about tabaxi. The four-legged kind of cats. Anyway, it's just a name. I mean, I think
I'm gonna
it's.
kind of look at my watch. Do we have a backup plan here?
backing up is probably the plan.
We may have to go back for reinforcements because honestly, we can't do this by ourselves.
Well, we
We
hope this would be
can't.
the fastest way to get there, but maybe there are better ways. We
Uh,
can't
But what
wait
if
too
it gets
long.
out?
Yeah, we can't leave it here like this.
Well, if we
It's
can't
going to
destroy
be
it and we
eating
can't
away at the
heal it,
tree.
I mean,
Well, it's gonna follow us.
Yeah. How
That's
do
what
we
I'm
know we
saying.
can't destroy it? We haven't tried yet.
Well, we also like
I mean, I'm
could use a
trying.
long rest to get our spells back. Um,
That
Just-
seems unlikely for a little while. So
yeah, I know. So, are we committed to attacking or are we committed to retreating? Because
We need to decide, or I'm going back in there. I'm just saying. I will go back in there
why?
because then I can get more magic.
What?
that's a good idea.
no, that's a really bad idea, Zaleen.
What are you talking about? Like I will get more magic, and I mean I could probably show you how to do it.
Yeah, definitely stay out of the green goo.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What are you
Um,
talking about?
I think we need to fall back now. I'm changing my vote. We need to run away now.
okay.
I don't like. Yeah, no, that's not an option.
Well, we need Zaleen to like come down from whatever high she's on. I don't
What
know
are
what
you
cocaine.
talking about? I'm being serious.
I understand
I
you're
could
being
get
serious,
more
but
power.
you're not being you.
Last
You
thing I
don't
need is you to also
understand.
fall to the same thing the dragon did.
Yeah, I think that's how the dragon is feeling right now. It wants to consume us to get more power, and you want to consume it. You're becoming a
No,
siphoner.
I don't. I don't want to eat it. I just want to like.
You just want
If
to
I
suck
could
the
get some
power
of the
out of it
magic
like
out
it
of
did
it,
to us.
yes, because then
Like a
it won't
siphoner.
have that power anymore, and we can maybe reason with it.
Where are you actually standing on the map?
Yeah, I think.
I don't even know.
I mean, you would have come out of the. So.
I mean,
Oh
because
yeah,
you're still
I'm
in the
probably
bubble.
like, I'm like probably right here
All right,
on the edge still.
Mhm.
all right. I'm gonna grab Zaleen and start walking her toward Lynn.
Wait.
And I have cloud giant strength,
Mhm.
so I'm picking her up and moving her toward Lynn. Lynn, she's not acting reasonable. We need to withdraw until she calms down because she's going to turn into a siphoner.
I am not going to turn into a siphoner.
I don't think it's a matter of like. I don't think that time is going to cure this.
We could try and find out. Because if she goes back in there, you're going to lose her.
So she doesn't go back in there. Come here. I'm gonna kind of motion to Zaleen. It's like, come here a second. I want to talk to you.
All right, I drag her over to you.
You could like stop holding. I'm not like don't. I'm fine. I don't know what his problem is. I'm fine. It's a solution. Don't you understand? This is a solution.
I do understand, but I don't think it's the best solution. And he's right. There's a risk, and I don't want you taking that risk.
Somebody has to do something.
I did.
Nedry bends down with his blue glove and touches the green goo.
Okay. So the glove is supposed to tell you what, like it's like psychometry, I think, right? It was the like the history of it,
Yeah, learns things about the history of an object by touching it.
right? I mean, I think
See if we can
mostly
gain
what you
insight.
get there is it's like
Like, is it maybe the way it was corrupted?
yeah.
Might
Well,
be
I
available, or...
I think a lot of what you're getting is kind of just a more poetic version of what your Arcana already sort of told you more clinically. But I think that you get with the glove a much heartier dose of the emotions of the dragon here. And just you get, again, kind of like Zaleen did, there's this sort of shock that it could have been made this way. There's an element of regret that it ended up, um, you know, it was convinced that, well, if, the siphoners just killed it, then it would have no way to help. And so it has become convinced that the only way for it to save Emerald Arboris is to regain enough strength to go and take the fight to the queen. But your perception here is that that's exactly what the queen wants, because it knows that it's doing damage just by being here. And that probably you think that the queen is feels pretty confident that they would not be threatened by something that they have themselves corrupted. So even if Cuprilmachus here is imagining that they can make themselves stronger and then take on the queen, they would find themselves powerless before the queen, if there was actually any conflict. And so I think it's just you're feeling that whole emotional roiling in there, that's why this dragon is acting half mad, is just because there's a part of it that's still desperate to do the right thing, but unwilling in its arrogance to admit that it has failed, or that it has made any kind of a mistake in becoming this way. But its desire still is to help. It just needs to be persuaded that what it's doing now is not the way.
And somebody amongst us is really good at persuading. Just saying.
But this is the way. Don't you understand? This is the way.
It might be possible. There is still something of the dragon remaining. It's on fire inside, in a way. And it feels the need to quench the fire, but still fight. We can't quench the fire, I don't think, without quenching it, but we might be able to help it hold it off for a little while. Stop the itching. A bomb.
So I'm gonna kind of put my hands on Daleen's shoulders, be like, I need you to look at me right now. Right in the eyes.
I look like an absolute lunatic.
Yeah, pupils are huge.
How do you think your mistress would feel about what you're doing right now?
What am I doing? I'm just doing this. This is what needs to be done.
Is it? Are you sure there's not another way?
I don't know. I mean, we're not getting anywhere.
Have you tried asking her?
I did. She did not answer. Like, her phone was like not in service today. I don't know what a phone is, but it's not working.
You trust me, right?
Yes.
Do you think I would lie to you about something like this?
No, but why don't you trust me?
I do trust you, but you're not the issue. It's the corruption, it's all of this awful magic that I don't trust.
But we could, there's so much stuff. There's so much of it. And it's all out there. And we have to fix it because nobody else can. If we could just, like, harness that power. I feel
I'm
like...
not willing to sacrifice you for that. Not like this. I don't want you becoming one of those things. You wouldn't do that to me,
Maybe
would
I
you?
won't. Maybe I won't become one of those things. Like, maybe there's like a threshold and I can go like right up to the threshold and then stop. me.
It is an intriguing prospect, I will say.
Helping.
Zinhorn and Nedry, you can both make so Zinhorn Zinhorn and Nedry can both make not medicine, with just
I was-
wisdom checks. Wisdom checks.
Okay, I was going to ask if I could do a medicine check.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That works too.
I am a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a
Wisdom,
doctor too, and I'm telling you, I'm
unlike that.
fine.
Oh wow, I
26.
rolled a
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, so I think Zinhorn, you are sensing that Zaleen is absolutely under the effect of like essentially a magical influence right now. And that very likely brought on by the contact with the sludge. And so it's like there's definitely like she's not herself right now.
Nedry, how powerful do you think that sludge is? Like, if I hit it with Dispel Magic, would I have to hit it with High Level?
If you,
Give-
I was gonna say if you don't want to use burn a spell slot, I have Dispel Magic at 3rd level available with my Camp Mandolin.
I don't know if either of you have a lesser restoration. You think that would also
I have
cast
greater
on?
restoration.
Well, yeah, that's great.
Touch myself.
Do you want to use it on yourself?
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Definitely
gonna
not.
try Lesser Restoration on Zaleen.
Okay. Zaleen, you are still covered with slime. You were never controlled here, but you do feel that sort of tingling buzz kind of fade away, and the exhaustion is back. But you do now sort of recognize that the way you were feeling was largely because of all of the sludge on you, kind of like sort of working on your
Amplified my-
brain. Yeah.
it amplified my already insane insanity.
Well, so right, yeah. So I'm not telling you changed Zaleen's opinion, but you recognize now that you were under the influence of that stuff.
Okay. Whew.
Okay.
There might be a pathway forward then
I
if you
l-
can cast that more strongly on the dragon.
Well,
I have. Wait, what
maybe.
did you cast on me? It
Lesser
was lesser.
Restoration. Yeah.
I have greater restoration.
Well, so bearing in mind that what the sludge is coming from the dragon. So you think she was that way because she was basically infected with the dragon's sludge. You know, the dragon is not under the influence of the sludge. The sludge is the dragon's influence.
Not be powerful enough.
So we would have
So-
to try it on the dragon.
That's what I mean. That's what I thought.
Okay,
might
I'm trying.
stem the
I'm trying to
effects.
say that like
Yeah.
it's a little bit like saying if you get bitten by a snake, then you can take snake antivenom to cure yourself of the poison. But giving that antivenom to the snake doesn't make the snake not poisonous.
Magic.
Damn it.
So the point is that the sludge is the way it is because of the dragon.
Yeah.
Not the dragon isn't the way
Ah.
it is because of the sludge.
I don't know if there's
Some
any more
things-
powerful magics than that.
Lynn, do
Some
you think
things
you
can't
could
be
reason
fixed,
with
they
it?
can only be stopped. I don't know.
Lynn,
Can you try
can
to
you try
reason with
changing
it?
its
Like try to
mind?
talk to it through the
Nobody
wall?
has tried that so far.
I'm willing to give it a shot. How much time do we think is left on this spell?
2 minutes.
Go, Bard, go.
Is there anything we can give you that would make you less vulnerable?
I promise not to play my flute or sing. Crap. I may have to go pick up my kid.
Okay. So I think the prismatic wall does not block sound. Right now, what you've been hearing is sort of just like an incoherent sort of snarling through it because it's so wound up in all of its emotion right now that it's kind of not being rational. But nobody has really tried talking to it since the fight started.
Okay, I will give it a shot. In
Melody
theory,
will
my
help.
character would
You
be really
got
good at
this.
this.
My
Yeah.
my kid wasn't able to get a ride, so I
Okay.
got to go pick her up.
Okay.
Um, hopefully, I'll be back.
All right. Let's see if I can. Forgot my. Are you keeping the camera on or okay? Well, okay, that's fine. It's fine. Okay, so Melody is coming up, just being there with you because she knows the dragon from before, so she's basically going to give you advantage on talking to him.
Okay. You know this dragon better than anyone. Is there you got any quick tips?
I mean, he cared more than anything about protecting Emerald Arboris and being like her champion, and that's the Cuprilmachus I always knew, and it sounds like that part of him is still up in there, even if it's all confused with everything else. If we can just find that part and help him find the way that he can do that from here instead of trying to do what the queen wants, I guess.
Trying to figure
Do
out
you
how
have
to
any
even
ideas who this queen might be, Melody?
start this conversation.
You guys have more experience with these siphoner things than I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of. I don't want to get too close to this thing, but he'll be like, Cuprilmachus, could we speak to you for a moment? I know this is all. I know you're in pain. I know that you just want to do the right thing and you want to
Melody's
protect
gonna
everyone.
lean in and just say, "He is still a dragon. You need to like flatter him and butter him up and all that sort of thing. Like he's got a good heart, but like he wants to hear it."
Um, and I mean, we're all we were hoping to meet you on better terms because we've heard some really great things about you, and that's the dragon that we were hoping to meet. So would you maybe deign to speak with us?
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Wow. Okay. Well, it's, a 20 is
Yeah,
still. A
I
20 is in.
cannot roll lower than a 20.
So I think though, yeah, with the 20, you the snarling sort of calms, and then after a moment, the voice is just. We live in dire times full of difficult choices.
We do. None of these choices have been easy for you, and to see you still fighting, it's truly inspirational. We don't fully know how we might best assist you, but we know that there is a better way than what either of us are going about doing right now.
The Queen must not be permitted to accomplish her task. She would use Emirate Arbors to spread her corruption throughout the cosmos. We must prevent that at any cost.
I would agree with you. And so would the rest of us. And anybody got any ideas? Like,
Ask who the queen is.
um, Do you know how far away the queen is, where she is?
Her temple lies deep beneath the city on the island of Dinnet there, where the roots have met it. She bides her time there, still awaiting the culmination of her schemes, whereupon her victory will be brought to her on bended knee, unless we thwart her plans.
That is what we intend to do.
How could you seek to accomplish this when I was felled?
We have some knowledge that we are prepared to use for this. And it's only chance that we've come into contact with these creatures. No one seems to know much about them, let alone how to defeat them. And strength is certainly one way to go about it, but there might be something else we can do.
I once derived my magic from the world around me, not by theft or consumption, but by existence, coexistence, symbiosis. And yet now I find that whatever I draw within me is burned to supply this power that I have. And I must constantly draw more. But I see it sapping the world around me. I must, if I am to have the strength to defeat her, I must have more. Because it burns away so quickly. If you will not grant me yours, then I fear all is lost.
I don't believe that fighting this queen with her own power is going to bring about victory. You have to bring about, or you have to use the opposite of that to defeat her.
Make another persuasion check.
This one goes better. 21.
21. I mean, it's still, you know. I think it's like, that is fine to say. But what is the opposite of that? What would your plan be?
We will conquer the darkness with the power of friendship.
Well, she thrives off of being a parasite, and she kills everything that she touches, corrupts it. That is destruction. So the opposite of that would be creation. And I don't know where all of this comes from is not a good place. It all stems from this central corruption that's at the heart of everything that Denethor was trying to build.
Imbalance, I think, more than corruption. We can restore the balance. These things do not have a place. Noble dragon, it saddens me to see you like this. But one thing you must recognize is I do not think you can leave this place anymore. Our power would be nothing to help you. your power, well, remains still strong. But we can travel to where we need to go. We've touched powers even greater than your own. Learn from them, face them, and I believe that we can solve this with balance.
I think that that's an excellent approach, and so there we could have you, Nedry, roll with advantage, but I think also you are helping Lynn's, so whichever you would prefer, we can have either you or Lynn roll with advantage there.
Gee,
Well,
I'll have the poet do it.
yeah, I just wanted you to have the option. But yes, Nedry absolutely is providing advantage with that point.
I'm having trouble finding a good angle of entry for like trying to convince him. So 24.
24 is pretty
Like-
good.
Inching up
Yeah.
every time.
There is some silence for a moment, and then I was just actually realizing that the prismatic wall is not. You know what? I'm gonna just narrative fiat here that it is at this moment that the prismatic wall ends. And as it does, the dragon is revealed once again, and you can see its demeanor is no longer like aggressive or even arrogant, but just profoundly sorrowful. And it says, "Your words sparked a truth in my heart that I had feared to acknowledge. That no matter how I might grow my strength in my current state, it would tie me to this place, forcing me constantly to draw more and more from the very wellspring that I seek to protect. And that I might very well find, as it did when I first faced her, that my strength would falter under the Queen's influence. Tell me. I do not believe that I have anything to offer you, save this word of advice. Do not follow this path. Find another way. Not because I would prohibit you, but because this path is tainted. When you face the Queen, you must do so from a place of purity. Melody, when I am gone, will you lead the others to purify my lair? And she just, nods, tears in her eyes. Very well. Emeritar Boris, I relinquish what I have stolen. And with that, he just kind of sinks back into the sludge, but as he's doing so, he basically is kind of just melting away until there's nothing. And you can see that the sludge is starting to sort of like like the level of it is sinking a little bit, and it's like there's sort of like a smell being given off of it, and there's parts of it that are starting to like clump and dry, but it's not happening quickly.
I think we have to leave. If we can bar the opening to this place and put a warning on the front. I can put a warning there, actually. It would be best if no one travels in until they are prepared to deal with whatever's left over. Melody, I would like to say that despite what happened to them, they were an incredibly strong, incredibly noble dragon.
Thank you. He was. And I think she actually casts a spell of her own that narratively is going to work a bit differently than it would normally. But she casts Wall of Thorns around the the opening, and she says, "The other path is longer to travel, but." It sounds like that was what Cuprilmachus wanted. I see that stuff now, and I saw what it did to you, Zaleen. I wonder if now if that wasn't a trap of sorts laid by the Queen. Not even Cuprilmachus themselves, but trying to force us to go through there.
It does seem that way.
Before we set out, Melody, I asked you a question. It may have seemed odd at the time, but now you know why. Sacrifices along the way are dangerous. Sometimes we have to make choices that are very hard. But we will make those choices.
From what I've seen, I can't imagine that there's anyone else that would be better for this mission than you are, looking at all of you.
Well, let's hope so.
Before we all leave, he'll put a magic mouth on the hallway outside, trying to be somewhat positive. Starts with something like,
Hail, traveler. Please do not proceed any further. The dragon once known as Cuprilmachus was unfortunately corrupted by the queen of the siphoners. If you are entering this area, please take caution and do so with extreme power.
Please check the number and try your call again.
the portal you have called is disconnected at the moment. Please return to your nearest plane of existence.
So I think that probably, though we would imagine our party begins their march away from Cuprilmachus's well, beginning their longer journey back. Perhaps at some point they would make camp, but I think perhaps that is narratively a good place for us to end tonight's session. So, what next for the Pocket Protectors? Will this alternate route to the place where this mysterious queen resides, yield them the machine part that they seek. What will they find when they arrive? We'll have to find out when we return next week for more adventure on so many levels.
So many
So
levels.
many levels.
Recalculating.
Yeah.
Calibrating.